The next section says, recall that figures with symmetry are those in which each half of the figure matches exactly. A parabola is symmetric about the axis of symmetry. Every point in the parabola to the left of the axis of symmetry has a corresponding point on the other half. So for example, here the point is -4, 4. That's, I think that's -4. Yes, it's -4, 4. There's a corresponding point on the other side of the axis of symmetry that corresponds to that point. So that corresponding point will be 2, 4. That axis of symmetry splits those 2 points right in half. The function is increasing on one side of the axis of symmetry and decreasing on the other side. So here, where the line is going down, we're decreasing. And then after that vertex point, our axis of symmetry, our line starts to increase. When identifying characteristics from a graph, it is often easiest to locate the vertex first. It is either the maximum or minimum point of the graph. Then locate the x-intercepts. They are the zeros of a quadratic function. Now here I want you to realize the importance of these vocabulary words. X-intercepts, zeros. You'll also hear them be called solutions or roots. So I want you to definitely jot that down when you do your flashcards, or definitely jot that down in your notes. That x-intercepts can be called zeros, they can also be called roots, they can be called solutions. All of those words mean the same thing. Okay? So, we're going to take a look at this first example. Well, this example number 2. You are copying these down in your Cornell notes. I want you to copy down example A and example B. But be careful because I'm not going to have you copy down this entire step out. So listen carefully to what I want you to actually write down. So for example 2, I do want you to sketch this graph of example 2. We're going to find the vertex, the equation of the axis of symmetry, the y-intercept, and the zeros of each graph. So for A, the vertex, it also says, remember, to find the maximum or the minimum point. So our minimum point on our graph is here. That is where our vertex is. Oh, that is a great point. That is where our vertex is. That point is at -1, 0. So what I want you to write down, not this entire step, I want you to write vertex, and I want you to write minimum point, and I want you to write the actual point down, -1, 0. That is our vertex. The next says find the equation of the axis of symmetry. Well, we know that the axis of symmetry has to cut our parabola in half. So this very, very neatly drawn line by me is our axis of symmetry. So next for step 2, I want you to write axis of symmetry. It is the line that goes, the axis of symmetry is the line that goes through the vertex and divides the parabola into 2 congruent or equal halves. So where is this line located? This line is located at x equals -1. That is the equation for our line of the axis of symmetry. So next to step 2, you write axis of symmetry and write x equals -1. Next it says find the y-intercept. Our y-intercept is the point where we cross the y-axis. So where we cross the y-axis happens right here at this point. That point is at 0, 1. So next to step 3, I want you to write y-intercept and write the point, 0, 1. Then I want you to actually write it out. The y-intercept is 1. It happens at the point 0, 1, but the actual y-intercept is 1. Now for step 4, the last step thing we're looking for is for our zeros. But I also want you to write zeros, I want you to write x-intercept, I want you to write roots, and I want you to write solutions. Because all 4 of those words mean the same thing. So anytime from now on we write the word 0, we're also going to write the word x-intercept, root, and solution. All 4 words each time. So now let's look at our actual graph. The actual 0 is where we cross the x-intercept. And our x-intercept happens right there. I already have a point there. That point is at -1, 0. This graph only intersects the x-axis one time at that point. So next to step 4, remember you're writing all 4 words, and I want you to write the actual point, -1, 0. The next video will explain example 2b.